You're listening to RDDC, the Real Double Dose Channel,
where real voices speak, real stories matter. And authority isn't just a word, it's a way of life.
God-centered, purpose-driven.
Built for hearts and minds that are ready to rise.
RDDC Broadcast Media Network. Welcome home.
Okay, I'm back for part 2, like I said on the last one. Welcome back, y'all. I told you part 2 was where it got real. I left you at my mama's kitchen table. Sunday dinner sitting there getting cold. Keisha on the phone telling me about my son. Jamal. 15 years old. Same block I came up on. Same type of dudes I used to run with. And I want you to understand what happened in my chest when I heard that. It wasn't shock. Shock is when you don't see it coming. What I felt was more like recognition. Like my whole past had been building a mirror this entire time, and it just turned around and put it in my face. I looked at my mama across that table. She already knew from my face. Her hand went over her mouth. I stood up. I walked out that kitchen, and I drove to the 2,400 block of Hargrove Avenue for the first time since I walked out them gates. Driving down that street was something else. I thought I'd feel a lot of things. Fear, anger, nostalgia maybe. What I felt was weight. Just straight weight. Every single corner had something attached to it. Corner store where Mr. Cho kept the bat behind the register. The alley between the buildings where I did things I can't undo. The fire escape on the 3rd floor where Dre used to sit watching everything below him like it was all his. And then I saw Jamal standing outside the building with 2 boys I didn't know personally but knew immediately. You know what I mean. The posture, the stillness, that specific way young dudes stand when they trying to look like they belong to something, because belonging to something feels better than being nothing. Man, I invented that stance on this exact block. I parked and got out. Jamal clocked me right away, and his face, it wasn't happy, wasn't relieved. Wasn't nothing soft. It was cold, guarded, complicated. The face of a kid who has had to protect himself for a long time and don't see a reason to stop now just because his daddy showed up. His boys looked at me, then looked at him. And Jamal said, flat as concrete, "What you doing here?" Not Dad. Not Marcus. What you doing here? And I said, I came to see you. Can we talk? He looked at his boys. Something passed between them. He said, I don't really got nothing to say to you. And I just stood there and took it because I earned every word of that. I said, I know. But I got some things I need to say to you. 20 minutes. That's all I'm asking. And if you never want to see me again after that, I'll respect it. He stared at me for a good while. Long enough, I thought he was walking. Then he told his boys he'd catch up. And he walked with me to the car. We sat in that car for 2 hours. I started talking, and Jamal just sat there, looking straight ahead, like staying in the seat was a favor he was doing me. I told him some of what I told y'all in part 1, about this block, about Dre, about what I thought I was getting and what I actually ended up with. He was quiet the whole time. And then he turned and looked at me and said, "Why you telling me this, though? You think I don't know what happened to you? I heard this story 100 times already." And I said, "Who told you?" And he said, "Everybody told me. Everybody but you. You were gone. And I had nothing, not one word. I just sat in that car with my son, and the quiet between us had 15 years of weight in it." What he said next, I'm going to give you word for word, because it hit me different than anything I'd felt in a long time. He said, "You know what the worst part was? It wasn't even that you left. It was that when you were gone, these dudes on this block paid more attention to me than you ever did when you were here. At least they showed up." That landed in my chest like something physical, like something with actual weight to it. Because he wasn't just talking about the years I was locked up. He was talking about before that too, when I was running and in the life and physically present, but not really there. Same thing my own father did to me. Passed down like something nobody wanted, but everybody kept. I looked at my son and I saw myself at 12 standing outside that corner store saying yes sir to Dre because he paid attention to me, and attention felt like love when you've been running on empty long enough. And I started crying right there in that car on Hargrove. I don't cry in front of people. I haven't cried in front of another human being since I was like 8 years old. But I cried in front of my son right then because there wasn't no other honest thing I could do. I said, "Jamal, you're right about all of it. I wasn't there. And even before I wasn't there, I wasn't fully present. And these dudes gave you something that felt real. And I get that. I get it because the same thing happened to me. And I followed it all the way to 6 years of your life going by without me in it. I can't give you that back. But I'm standing on this block right now instead of somewhere that would love nothing more than to have both of us in the same system. And I need you to hear me. What they giving you on that corner ain't attention. It's an investment. And they're going to want a return on it. And when they do, it's going to cost you something you ain't ready to pay." He looked at me. Really looked at me. First time since I got out the car. And he said, "How you know?" And I said, "Because I was somebody's return. And it cost me you." Something changed in that car after that. I can't explain it scientific, but the air changed. He was still guarded. He's 15 and he'd been through it, and guarded makes sense. But something underneath that guard moved just a little bit toward me. And I said, "What do you want, man? Not from the block, not from them. What do you actually want your life to look like?" He was quiet for a while. And then, real quiet, he said, "I don't want to be out here in 10 years. And I said, "Then let me help you figure out how. I don't got all the answers yet, but I'm going to find them. And this time, I ain't going nowhere." He didn't say yes, didn't hug me, didn't make it a movie moment. He just nodded. Small nod, careful. 15 years of walls behind it. But he nodded. And on Hargrove Avenue, in that car, that nod from my son was everything in the world to me. Now here's the part I didn't see coming. Jamal got out the car, walked back toward his boys, and I sat there watching him go, feeling something I ain't felt in years. felt like hope. And then a car rolled up to the corner. Slow. The kind of slow that means something on that block. Window came down. Dude behind the wheel looked at me. I knew him. Showtime. Mid-level when I went in, clearly had moved up while I was gone. He looked at me with this expression that had recognition and offer in it at the same time. He said, "Marcus, long time. Heard you were out. We could use somebody like you. Things different now. Better. Just think about it." Then he looked at Jamal, then back at me, and he pulled off. And I sat in that car with my son 20 feet away, and my whole past sitting right there on that corner, offering itself back to me. That moment, that right there, that's the moment that comes for everybody who's ever walked out of something. It don't look dramatic. It don't announce itself. It just shows up on a Sunday evening on a block you grew up on while your son is 20 feet away. And what you do in it is who you actually are. Part 3 is what I did. And I promise you, you need to hear it. Stay close to The Real Double DC, because that's all real right there, for real and no joke. This platform will walk with you through every version of that moment. If my story is hitting somebody right now, send it before you do anything else. You know who needs to hear it. And if you got your own version of that car on that block, Story to Blessings wants that story. All of it. The choice and everything after. The world was formed by a word, and yours is the one somebody's waiting on. Every step forward. Thank you for listening to my journey and story. It truly does mean a lot to me, family. Until then, forever blessings to you all out there. Keep your eyes wide open. Your spiritual eyes, too.